Welcome to the K-Lick Services channel. I am Thelma, and today's topic, caladiums. Those lovely, beautiful, spectacular displays of colorful leaves. Most of us, when we see those colorful leaves, we would like to have a display in our gardens. But although caladium is a tropical plant, it does go into dormancy towards the end of the year, thereby robbing us of about 4 months of that colorful, beautiful display. But there's a way around it, because if you propagate caladium just when it starts to go into dormancy, you can stimulate it to resume another growing cycle and thereby extending the life of the caladium. And that's what we're going to be showing you in this video. So please keep watching. Let's start our propagation activity, and of course the first step is in obtaining the propagation material. These two plants have already started their decline, so I'm going to sacrifice the one on the right and dig it up and take it into the demo area. And here is the original mother plant, as it were. And with this flat bottom, it's obvious that it had a hard time penetrating the bed. Maybe it was sitting on a rock or something. And even the suckers also seem to have been restricted in their downward growth. There's 3 suckers in all, and I'm going to use all of them in the propagation demo. I'm going to trim away the leaves as well as the roots, and this will stimulate the dormant eyes to resume growth. I'm placing the trimmed tubers in a container of clean water, and this is to wash away the dirt from the tubers once I'm finished. And that is the reddish variety. Now, I had a few really tiny substandard planting bits of the white strap leaf variety, so I thought I'd include it for a comparison to see if there is any difference in how the reddish variety would respond compared to how the white strap leaf variety would respond. So it's the same treatment. Once I've extracted the little planting bits, I'll wash them in a container of water and proceed to the next step, which is to cut them into smaller size planting materials. So now let us prepare these planting materials. And the whole idea here is to get as many pieces of planting materials as we can. And the first step, of course, is to sanitize the surface of the cutting tool, a sharp knife, as well as the surface of the tubers. Now, as I started to say, the whole idea is to cut them into relatively small bits, but ensuring that there are at least 2 eyes on each bit, because what we're trying to do is to force those eyes to resume growth, and the more eyes we have, the more plants. This would be considered a medium-sized caladium tuber, so I'm going to try to get at least 4 bits from it. This one is even larger, so let's see how many bits I can get from it. You get the idea. So by the time I was done with the reddish caladium, I got 18 bits from that one clump. Next, I washed and trimmed the rather small tubers from the white caladium and ended up with 12 bits, from which I'm going to hopefully get a lot more plants. And for the final step in the preparation of these caladium planting materials, I will place them in a well-ventilated area away from direct sunlight for about a week to allow the tuber segments to callus. This way, you minimize the chance of them rotting and other soil-borne diseases. Now that they've calloused, it's time to plant them. And I've selected this very porous store-bought mix consisting primarily of vermiculite and perlite. And I will place the tuber segments, space them probably about an inch or inch and a half apart in the containers, and cover them lightly with about a half inch of the same mix. Water well and place them in a safe, secure, well ventilated area away from direct sunlight. So these are the results after 9 weeks. There are many more shoots in the pots of the red variety. And they're coming up. Yes, they're all the same tuber, but you see in the early stages they have different colors. And as you know, the caladium color really gets richer the more sunlight it gets exposed to. This also has quite a few more coming up. So it's early days, but when you do your propagation in a container such as this, I would not recommend that you split them up after. They look much better if they are bunched in a pot. And actually, if you're doing a display pot, then you'll probably put both of these in one display pot. This one also has a really nice selection of shoots coming up. I think looking at it, we certainly got more than 70% success in the red, and it's early days. It's after 9 weeks, we still expect more to be coming up. Now, the white variety, the strap leaf one, which is a shorter, generally grows shorter than the red, and I guess the fact that it grows shorter also suggests that it does not grow as fast, because we have one shoot emerging in this pot and none in this pot. But I've searched around in this, and I do know that they're still alive. I've seen little shoots trying to come up, and I expect in the weeks to come they will emerge. Varietal differences, this is what it's shown here, and patience is required, but the method does work, even though the chits looked rather small at the outset. But that is definitely one way of getting more plants. And it is early February now, mid-February, and here they are, lovely bright colors, whereas those in the beds, they are still fast asleep. So if you wanted to have a display of your caladiums in time for an occasion, then you know that you have to time when you dig up the bulbs or when you obtain the bulbs, chip them up and get your caladium springing in time for that glorious spring display that you're expecting. This brings us to the end of this video on propagating caladium in its dormant period so that you can wake it up and have it resume growing these spectacular leaves so you can have your display of colors earlier in the spring. Now, if you found this information useful, please give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as usual, I ask if you have not subscribed already, please, we appreciate your doing so. Until the next video, I am Thelma in the Calyx Services Garden saying thanks for watching, take care, and bye-bye.